BGJ, whose real name is Devontae Harrison, rose out of Baltimore as a rapper known for tracks like Air Day and Lit Up, but his career quickly collided with federal charges that revealed a double life tied to drugs, guns, and the streets. Federal prosecutors said Harrison was moving heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and crack while also carrying a Glock with an extended magazine, and in 2021 he was convicted on conspiracy and firearms charges that earned him a 15-year federal sentence. Court filings and later indictments tied him to the Black Gorilla family, one of Baltimore's most notorious gangs. And in 2024, Harrison admitted to racketeering conspiracy that included paying $10,000 for a murder for hire in 2014 after a man allegedly owed him money for consignment drugs, a deal carried out through a BGF hitman already linked to multiple retaliatory shootings. That plea added 25 years to his record, running concurrently with his earlier sentence, and painted him as more than just a rising rapper, but an active figure in organized crime, with investigators noting that his music videos and image were used to bolster his reputation on the streets. His downfall became another example of how Baltimore's rap scene and violent gang culture often overlap, with fame and ambition intertwined with a lifestyle that brought federal surveillance, lengthy indictments, and ultimately decades in prison. Rody Rex is a Baltimore rapper signed to Def Jam, whose catalog includes Never Enough, Head Up, and the project Realest Richest Youngin', followed by Realest Richest Youngin' 2. Credible outlets and label posts consistently identify him by stage name, and a legal name is not listed in any publicly accessible Department of Justice releases or mainstream reporting I could locate, while his verified pages and interviews also use only Rody Rex. In early March of 2025, veteran Baltimore reporter Justin Fenton reported that a federal judge sentenced him to 27 months for illegal gun possession. The same day, other local reporters echoed that update, and subsequent body camera-based videos circulated online, showing an earlier incident where police stopped him in a Corvette and recovered a firearm framed by uploaders as an aborted attempt to flee. I could not find a court-filed narrative tied to that video, but the federal sentence for the gun case is reported by multiple journalists. He emerged from West Baltimore's scene in the late 2010s, linked up with Route Runner and Def Jam, and built momentum with collaborations alongside OTR Chaz, YBS Scola, and Peasy, plus features and performance looks on platforms like Up Rock Sessions and the DTLR mini documentary. Press described him as a Baltimore-born artist who later worked out of Los Angeles, with Def Jam promoting his debut project. Public sources do not document any confirmed gang affiliation or racketeering indictment for him as of now. The on-record legal trouble that is verifiable is the illegal gun possession case, resulting in a 27-month federal sentence, while his musical story centers on Def Jam releases, high-view singles like Never Enough, and a steady run of videos such as Racketini, Popular, and Digidash. Lor X, legal name Xavier Johnson, age 33, was arrested in October of 2020 and later indicted along with 18 other people in a 42-count state case in Baltimore. The indictment alleged he led a criminal enterprise using his music persona, Lor X, sometimes called the South Baltimore Godfather.
More than $1 million worth of drugs seized by state investigators, but that's not the only crime here. This drug bust is also allegedly linked to the murder of a former Baltimore basketball star. WJZ is live tonight. Annie Rose Ramos with the indictment of 19 people, including a Baltimore rapper. Annie Rose.
Well, Nicole, this is what over $1 million worth of drugs looks like, seized by authorities during their investigation into a Baltimore-based drug gang run by rapper Lor X.
We recovered nearly 9 kilos of fentanyl. That's about 20 pounds.
An investigation leading authorities to stash houses in Baltimore, where they found guns, heroin, and 9 kilos of fentanyl.
In 9 kilos, it could cause the overdose deaths of 4 million people.
Maryland's Attorney General announcing Thursday the indictments of 19 alleged gang members
who were involved in a drug trafficking organization,
starting with their accused leader.
The leader was a man named Xavier Johnson.
Xavier Johnson, a rapper known as Lor X.
Johnson would direct members to rent apartments that served as the enterprise's drug stash location.
To fund, manage, and supervise stash houses for drugs and weapons, direct others in drug distribution, and finance gang operations. Investigators say the enterprise trafficked large amounts of fentanyl, including mixtures with fentanyl, heroin, and other controlled dangerous substances. They seized nearly 9 kilograms of fentanyl and multiple firearms during the investigation, investigations involving search warrants and sting operations. Among the overt acts listed in the filings is the murder of Gerald Brown in June 2019. Brown, a former basketball star, had been asked by Johnson to rent an apartment for the enterprise. After that apartment was raided, prosecutors say Brown refused to go down for recovered items and shortly thereafter was killed. Lor X pleaded guilty in September of 2023 to 1 count of organizing, supervising, and financing the gang and 2 counts of possession of large amounts of a drug mixture containing fentanyl. In February of 2024, a judge sentenced him to 15 years in prison after suspending much of a 40-year term. The deal tied him to a 25-year suspended sentence hanging over him, and the first 10 years of the prison time would be without parole. Z18 Will, identified by prosecutors as William Barnett of Baltimore, was indicted in October of 2024 alongside Jerome Waters and Calvin Israel for the robbery, kidnapping, and murder of Queens marijuana dealer Julian Macias, a case that drew headlines after the victim's body was found in a U-Haul van with multiple gunshot wounds. Federal filings say the 3 Baltimore men drove to New York to set up a deal, then stormed a stash house in Bayside, tied up Macias and another dealer, forced one into a Jeep and Macias into a U-Haul, and stole roughly 30 pounds of marijuana before the killing. Surveillance footage released by investigators showed Barnett entering a corner store during the trip, connecting his identity back to Baltimore, where he was known as Z18 Will in the rap scene. The indictment charged him with murder while engaged in a narcotics trafficking crime, Hobbs Act robbery, kidnapping, and firearms offenses, carrying potential life sentences. Federal prosecutors called it a brutal interstate hit that turned a routine drug deal into an execution, and New York press highlighted the rare cross-state nature of Baltimore crews bringing violence into Queens. Barnett's name tied directly to Zone 18, a violent section of East Baltimore long known in local police reports for shootings and drug activity, and this case illustrates how the city's neighborhood crews and rap image overlap with high-stakes federal prosecutions far beyond Maryland. MG Shorty is a Baltimore rapper who appears in trending Baltimore's hottest artists playlist, doing tracks like We Lit with HRT Baby, No More Anquan with 214 Dot and MG Baby K, among others. He's been active in collaborations with rising Baltimore artists and seen in video reactions and freestyle content, e.g. Biggest Op, Lor X, MG Shorty, showing he's considered part of the local drill/hip-hop scene. There was discussion on Reddit and local social media that he was on a crazy run before he got booked. MG clicked up with hella sets and was getting belt, implying he was arrested, though no confirmed court filings or news sources clearly document the arrest details such as date, real name, specific charges. One unverified post from Facebook claims Shorty got arrested for getting tossed by Chop, but this is socially posted content without citation to official records. Sosa, a rapper from the Gilmore homes on Baltimore's west side, has built a persona around survival, loss, and street conflict. He says he was shot 19 times, lost his fiancée, and his music draws heavily from his experiences with Baltimore gang violence and local turf wars. While his lyrics and interviews, including ones titled around large bail amounts and claims of life sentence exposure, depict a life under constant threat, there is no verified legal documentation in publicly available court or indictment records confirming the precise charges, real name, or sentencing that match those claims. His social media presence and interviews suggest he's risen in the local rap scene on that backbone of trauma and authenticity, and his identity is tied closely to Gilmore homes.